Hello and welcome to Hysteria. I'm Alyssa Mastromonaco.
And I am Samantha Bee.
Yes, to wrap up our summer of co-hosts, we're bringing back our favorite comedian and host of her own podcast, Choice Words, Samantha Bee.
Oh my goodness, I'm so excited to be here. Thank you for having me back.
Oh, girl, before we get into the details, Sam, did you see that Tim Scott got married this weekend?
I did see that. To a Christian pickleball enthusiast. I'm excited for
That's
him.
what the Instagram said. I hope he didn't do it on our account.
He might have. But you know what? I love love, Alyssa.
And if he's in love,
hey, I can't find fault with it. I can't judge it.
welcome back to Hysteria, the podcast for pet parents for Tim Walz, because he has a cat named Honey and a dog named Scout.
Oh, I love the name Honey for a cat.
Isn't it perfect?
That is perfect. That is perfect.
And Scout, they love animals. Though you know what? Everyone kept posting. Did you see everyone kept posting the picture of Tim Walz holding the pig at the state fair?
Yes.
Girl, that stressed me out. I was like, that pig gonna be bacon.
The pigs at the state fair. That's a different type of. That's not
a George Clooney potbelly pig from many years ago.
No, I want to say though, as a cat lady, as you know, I have already a name picked out for my future cat, which is bad because it doesn't. You know, it's not like I'm signing out the two cats I already have, but I'm just all into cats. And it's perfect. I love it. I can't tell you.
Why?
I can't tell you because people will steal it. It's just, it's just
Who
like
are
having,
you, Charlotte in Sex and the City with a weird baby name?
Oh, yeah. No, you know what? Because when I was naming one of my own children, someone stole the name that we had selected and used it themselves 1 month before our child was born.
Deranged.
So
and
it was
weirdly
actually deranged. Yeah.
Happened to my best friend.
Yeah, you have to be very careful.
You got to be careful who you tell these things
very careful.
to.
I'll tell you off
Off mic. Okay.
Off mic. Yeah, it's too good.
All right. Well, Sam, on Tuesday, we're recording Wednesday. Yesterday, Vice President Harris chose Minnesota Governor Tim Walz as her running mate, and the vibes are extremely excellent. Democrats have been having a field day celebrating on social media with Wholesome. Can we just double down on Wholesome?
Wholesome.
I am so here for Wholesome. He's a chummy, dad-like figure.
Yep.
He's accomplished a lot as Minnesota's governor. Historic investment in public education, workers' rights, working families, reproductive freedom in the state. He's a veteran. Sam, are we here for Tim Walz?
He's a delicious digestive biscuit. Like sweet and wholesome and like a cookie that's kind of healthy for you. It goes with lots of things. Very malleable, makes a great crust. I think in terms of baked goods mostly, but I'm here for this.
Okay, so I have to tell you, I have a funny little Tim Walz story.
Please tell me.
Okay, so the year is 2006.
Okay.
Now, you're a political junkie, so you may remember that back in 2006, John Kerry was still thinking of running for president.
Yeah.
Okay. So it's late October. I think it's right around Halloween. Alyssa has met a boy she kind of likes, and she has slept over his house.
Okay.
His house was shaped like a mushroom, I swear to God.
What?
My phone rings at 5:30 in the morning. And it is then Congressman and chair of the DCCC, Rahm Emanuel.
Okay.
And Rahm says to me, honey, honey, honey. And nobody get mad and text me. He called Axelrod honey too. It was not a sexism thing. It was just how he referred to people. Honey, honey, John shot himself in the foot. He's never going to be president and he can't campaign for any of my members. I need you to get Barack, then Senator Obama, to Minnesota for Tim Walz. He is a veteran running in a red district, and I think he can throw out the lunatic who's been there for like 5 cycles. Okay? So what had happened to John Kerry at the time is that he was at an event in California, and he made a really like ill-worded statement about how if you don't know how to navigate the education system, you'll end up in Iraq, meaning you'll end up in the military. And as a veteran, of course, that's not exactly what he meant, but it didn't matter because it was over. But the best is the guy who I was hanging out with was like, Rahm Emanuel calls you at 5:30 in the morning to go see Tim Walz in Minnesota. And I was like, yes, because I was political director for Barack Obama. And I suddenly realized that he liked me because I worked for Barack Obama, not so much because he liked me. And months later, when Barack Obama decided to run for president, it was when I first met Dan Pfeiffer of Pod Save America fame. And people always wonder why we are such foundationally tight friends. Yeah. And it is because when I met Dan, I told him that if he ever hired that guy for where I ever had to see him, we would never be friends. And his face never appeared on the campaign. So everyone's been posting their pictures with Tim Walz. That's my like Tim Walz adjacency.
Oh, I like it. And did you get the hell? Did you get out of that mushroom-shaped house? And also, what does that mean? What do you?
It was like, a weird mushroom-shaped house
on the bottom.
And it actually looked a bit like a mushroom, and it smelled a lot like mildew. So it was good that I didn't return. But
you had a brief interlude in a mushroom growing facility. Okay.
See, but it's really Tim Walz that caused me to see the light, that this person was not in it for me.
He's guiding you.
He was really just excited about Barack Obama and even more excited that Rahm had my phone number and called me at 5:30 in the morning.
Wowie.
Yeah.
Wow.
So I gotta know.
Yeah.
We're gonna get all into the Tim Walz of it.
Yeah.
Were you glued to the TV yesterday? Were you watching the drama unfold throughout the day? Were you on social media?
I was not. It got me. I'm away. I'm on vacation. I'm on a family vacation with 2 other families. I'm very into it. So I knew it was coming, but I was not glued. I received the information, obviously, earlier than anyone else in the group. I mean, like I was checking in. But it wasn't like a glue. And I was very satisfied to receive that information.
Right?
Yeah. Yeah, it felt good.
I loved social media because you know what? His family is so charming that when they posted their selfie that said Walz's assemble off to Philly.
I love it so much.
I can't get enough. And you know, Sam, back in the day, when I was a tiny baby cat in politics, the VP search was really my thing.
Yes.
And so watching it all unfold, it still gives me the chills. I still am in contact with Jeff Zeleny, who was like the reporter on the beat back then. I mean, he still is, but back then it was like he was the one who was really trying to figure out who the VP was in 04 and 08. Yep. And so I couldn't get enough.
Do you get like palpitations? Is it like when, back to school time in September when you wake up one morning and you're like, should I be in school? Why am I not in class?
Kidding? I was like, when I saw all of the black motorcades drive out, taking the family to the airport, I was like, oh my God, here we go. And also I had read that. So and I love this because back in 2004, before the internet. So it's really before social media. Carrie had narrowed it down to Edwards, Dick Gephardt, and Tom Vilsack. Okay. And so we had printed placards for the rally for all 3. And somehow the New York Post had gotten their hands on a Carrie Gephardt placard.
Okay.
So, to me, I'm always living in fear for these people as they're rolling out a VP. So much can happen. But I saw a story yesterday that they had, in fact, printed the placards in all 3, Kelly, Shapiro, and Walz.
I thought they did a very good job of it was kind of public, but it also was a secret until the end. They did a good job. I mean, it was a secret from me.
Did you watch the rally?
Yes.
Wasn't it just exceptional? Because you know what? And it's not always been this way, right? I'm not saying Democrats are always good at this. I'm saying in this moment, when everyone's talking about the existential threat to democracy, which is real if Donald Trump wins, watching, all of the media had said it was down basically for the last 36, 48 hours. They had said it was basically down to Walz and Shapiro. Yeah. Watching Josh Shapiro walk on stage, get all the love from Philadelphia as he should have, and then give the most rip-roaring introduction of Tim Walz.
Yeah.
I loved it. It's like we're truly in the Avengers era of the Democratic Party, where everybody is just on deck to fucking get it done.
It's a little bit like how well I think that they are filming the Olympics right now, which is like really conveying the excitement and the feeling in the room and the spirit of the event. I really am feeling that in watching the rally. You really, like however they're doing it and the feeling in the room is being conveyed exceptionally well. And I just like in a way that I really don't remember happening since like 2008. It's
true.
Special. Yeah.
And for me, I love, because I spent, for all intents and purposes, my entire time in politics and in public service, I always was either centrally a part of or oversaw all of the events. So I was like, look at that cut shot. Yeah. Look at the new signage. I really loved. This feels
so contemporary.
It does.
It feels fresh. It is fresh. It's really exciting. Like, oh, we needed this so badly.
So badly. And not to
into
be
my veins.
Not to be a petty bitch, but I can be. JD Vance had an event yesterday. And okay. I love this so much because his team thought it would be hilarious to make a head-on shot banner. So the banner right behind his head that said Kamala Chaos, except everyone stood up. So it just said Kamala behind him.
Oh my God.
And listen, I know how much banners cost. That was a very expensive mistake. That was a big banner.
That's a big mistake. You know what? You need some production design thought needs to go into these things, and all the angles need to be thought of. It's just the way it is.
It's just how it is. So
it's just how it is.
One of the funnier things on social media yesterday were all the people who were like, okay, so here's the deal. 2 weeks ago, I think I knew Tim Walz was governor of Minnesota, and now I would give my life for his and throw it in front of a speeding train to save him.
Yep.
So, Sam, here's my question. Let's talk about his bio a little bit.
Okay.
What's his story?
Okay, well, he looks like my dad, number one. If my dad had a little bit more hair, and that's important to know, he was a command sergeant major in the U.S. Army National Guard, a beloved social studies teacher. He's a football coach. In 2006, he defeated a 6-term Republican incumbent. He was elected governor of Minnesota in 2018. He taught in Mankato.
Do you know why that's so important to me?
Why is that so important to you?
Does Mankato ring any bells for you?
It's like it is, but I don't know why.
Okay.
I don't know why. Please tell me.
We're of the same age.
Yeah.
And Mankato is where Pa Ingalls and Mr. Edwards on Little House on the Prairie always had to go to like sell all the grain at market.
Stop it.
They went to Mankato.
They went to Mankato.
They would take a big trip to Mankato. So when I saw he taught at like Mankato West High School, I was like, oh my God, it's literally full circle perfect for me.
I just started to sweat. I literally just every pore in my body just opened and released. Thank you so much for reminding me of that fact.
You're welcome. I knew that if I brought it up, it was, but yeah. And Mankato's where they'd go to get the train to St. Paul, Minneapolis.
Oh my God. I can't even handle it.
So obviously we feel all the vibes. He's great on social media, like literally watching the video of him showing people how to fix their Ford Escape or their Ford Focus, whatever it was. I was like, oh my God, was he also the host of Car Talk back in the day?
You know what? It's the decency that I need. It's like a human person, like human people are in charge. I need adults to be in charge. I need to know that adults are in charge. I need to know that someone can fix a Ford Escape.
What do you think Tim brings to the ticket?
Well, I think that he rounds out the ticket super well. He is very additive to Kamala in like a million different ways. He has tremendous authenticity. He understands rural America. Like he just brings, like he's a retail politician. He understands people. He understands people's needs. And his fundamentals, like the things that he did, like as a politician, like the political things that he's done are very important to people's daily lives. Like he understands people's daily existence, like free school, breakfast and lunch is something so tangible that is so helpful in a million different ways. And I actually love it when people are really answering the needs of people in their actual lives, not in a vengeful future, but like right now. Things that make a difference. It's important. It's essential.
Well, it's like I saw, again, something on Instagram that said something's the effect of Tim Walz wants to give all fourth graders free lunch. JD Vance and Donald Trump will make fourth graders give birth. That is like right? It's so fucked, but it's true.
It's fucked, but it's true.
And you know, the thing I like about him, and this is not an indictment of Kamala in any way, shape, or form, but everybody has their strengths. Yeah. And over the past couple of years, because of COVID and other things, at the highest levels of electoral politics, I don't feel like we've seen a lot of retail. You know, I want to see, like, one of the things, and I may just be fucking retro and people are going to roll their eyes at me. I'd love to see a town hall meeting, because you know what? I don't disagree. Everyone now, the big Republican talking point is like, we need to see them take interviews from reporters and media. You're not holding them to account. And it's like, I actually would rather them take questions from people.
Take questions from people.
You know, and I think that is something that he seems so comfortable in his own skin that I think that he is someone who could go door to door in a town hall, at the ice cream parlor, at the town dump, and he could just fucking talk to people. Yeah. He is like the sort of super affable dad version of Bernie Sanders.
100%. I think he would love the town hall setting. He's great on a big stage, but he thrives in that way. Like I just saw some footage of JD Vance laughing at a reporter's question, and he was so pinched and so up his own ass and so uncomfortable just even receiving a relatively benign question. I just love Tim Walz's ease. How much he's embracing it, how much he's along for the ride, how much I think he thinks this is going to be really fun and can be really fun for his family and growth, and he can be helpful. It's so refreshing. I cannot even.
So here are a couple things. One, MAGAland does not seem okay.
No.
And I'm just going to rattle off a couple of his accomplishments as a legislator and an executive before, okay?
Okay.
Free college tuition for low-income families.
Yeah.
Free school breakfast and lunch.
Love it.
Implemented background checks. Yes. Codified abortion rights. Established a generous child tax credit. Created a paid family and medical leave program. Invested in affordable housing. Sam, why are they losing their shit so much? Do they think none of their supporters need any of this stuff? Because the MAGA Republicans have lost it.
They've lost it. And you know what? In Tim Walz's own words, they really are being so weird about it. They're being so weird about it. Dangerously liberal.
Unleash, what did the Trump campaign said? Tim Walz will unleash hell on earth, Sam.
Hell on earth. And then suggesting that Biden might try to take back the
what is that even about?
What are you talking about?
Like, I feel like Joe Biden is like, look, y'all do what you got to do. I'm here to support. I'm just going to like be president, do my shit, get things done.
Yeah.
But yeah, he's gonna take back the nomination.
Take back the nomination? What in the world are you even? And their new name and his new name for Kamala is actually so confusing to me that
Kamala. Kamala.
What does that mean?
Do you know what I think?
What do you think?
I think he's got cognitive decline and he's slurring his words.
Well, yes, of course. What was he? What do you think he was? What do you think he was going for? I have a theory about what he was going for, but I don't know. No one can ever prove it.
Well, I think he's trying to be racist.
Okay. Well, it's not hard to,
Right? Like that's the low-hanging fruit. That's my low-hanging fruit.
The low-hanging fruit. I thought he was trying to be like, come a blah, blah, blah. Do you know what I mean? Like, I think he was blah, 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 blah. And it just, he kind of like left off the H and it didn't work out and he kind of abandoned it due to whatever. cognitive decline, like the idiocy of the idea itself. So I don't know. I mean, racism always, I mean, that's just like ever present. It's the worst nickname in the world.
It's the dumb. It's actually not even the worst, just the dumbest.
It's the dumbest. It doesn't work. You know, if you really have to explain it, it's just not. It's not good enough.
You know what I say? I say be best.
Be best.
Be best, Donald Trump. So here's the interesting thing. I mean, like, I knew something about Tim Walz. I did not know that he came from humble beginnings similar to J.D. Vance. He was born and raised in cattle country in Nebraska. So if we get to see a VP face-off, what do you think it's going to look like?
Do you think that they will? I kind of think they will face off. And
I think, you know, because in the last week or so, remember Kamala's first rally, she said, say it to my face.
Say it to my
if
face.
you've got something to say it to my face.
Yep.
I am not sure Trump can resist that sort of goading.
I think you're right.
It's impulse control, right?
Yeah.
He has none.
Yeah.
And I think it would be hard for him.
Mm-hmm. Yes, it would be hard for him to resist that provocation. And that will be very interesting. But at the VP level, I think it will happen, and it will be very embarrassing for J.D. Vance, and he will be sweating out of his eyeballs within 5 seconds.
Because you know who's not going to sweat? Tim Walz.
No.
I mean, he's done everything. He's worked in a fucking high school, okay? He is ready on day one.
Ready? Oh my God, you're so right. He taught teenagers social studies. He led teenagers on the Egg Baby Project. He's got this. He's got this.
So, Sam, yesterday, the Harris Walz campaign raised over $20 million in a day. Now, the vibes have been great. I was on the Cat Ladies for Kamala call this weekend, raised $360,000.
Nice.
I mean, I think like over 12,000 people joined just for the Cat Ladies call. So the vibes have been good. The drumbeat has been good.
Yes.
Do you think we're going to glide to November?
No.
I need to set that up.
There's no glide. There's no glide. Look, I love the momentum. I love the excitement. It's all great. They're still searching around for an appropriate thing to call Kamala that will be derogatory.
Did you see he's defaulted to nasty woman? He threw that out this morning on Fox News. He was like, that nasty woman.
Old classics, bit repetitive. They're stumbling around in the dark, but they'll land on something, and it'll be, it's going to be hard. It's going to be really hard. It's going to be really, really hard. But energy and momentum is going to go a long way. Like, people are so excited. I was on a call myself with a different group of women, and it was like the excitement. They're vibrating in their own skin.
What was your fancy call that you were on?
My fancy call was like Democratic Women of Connecticut. And it was very good.
Girl, I love that. So local.
So local. It's like hyper local. And I'm here for it. I'm here for any of the calls. I'll join these damn calls.
Are you kidding? We're planning crafts for Kamala in upstate New York.
Yes.
Right? We need to make flags, signs, bracelets. Like
everything.
This
I'm going door to door.
What I love about this a little bit is that because of social media, I feel like a lot of organizing had just been taken to online, and people weren't getting together. And when people are online, I feel like it can go very south. And when people are together, I think the vibes are much better. And even though when people talk about how like in 2008 and 7, I guess, that Obama really like harnessed the internet. But the thing is, we harnessed it to get people together in person. Like the mybarackobama.com platform was about getting people together in real life to make signs and do canvassing and write postcards. So I'm excited. I was like, and I want to be honest, I'm not even that crafty. And I was like, let's do crafts for Kamala.
I'll do crafts. I'll make God's eyes. I'll do whatever. I'll dip a candle. Listen,
candles.
It's like candles would be great.
God, that's a good idea.
And then you can burn it after. And then you can
feel
a wish and a prayer. Feel it.
It's like a seance.
Be a Wiccan. Do what you need to do. But like, I do feel on the call that I was on, every single person, and then they opened it up to questions, and they were like, any questions? And every single person was like, what do I do? How do I help? Give me a list of doors I need to knock on. I'm going to physically go out. So I think it's going to feel like that again. I think people are going to be hitting the bricks.
I am excited for that. Now the Tim Walz we love. There's been some other just like politically adjacent, election adjacent news.
Yes.
So Usha Vance, JD Vance's wife, participated in her first solo interview on Fox and Friends.
Yeah.
She, first of all, I only watched the first half.
Yeah.
I mean, come on. It was, those were some softballs. But she was asked about her husband's childless cat lady comment. Mm-hmm. And Sam, how would you characterize her response?
It was confusing to me. I don't know how you comment on calling people childless cat ladies and then somehow make your answer about how policies aren't doing enough to support American parents.
Right?
I had a little.
She took a hard left and they let her.
They just let her. They were like, great answer. Thank you so much. I was like, what did she say? I got to watch the tape. Let me go back. I don't understand. This is not a good segue. I don't think you really answered the question, and the dodge was not good because there is no dodge because it was a very mean-spirited thing to say.
That, by the way, he has doubled down on.
But he's doubled down, and it's not just a thing he said. It's his belief system.
Correct.
It's much deeper than just like, he didn't misspeak. He believes these things to his core and continues to do so.
Also, she has like a very nice speaking voice. Yeah. Like it's very soothing. Sure. So at first, again, I was listening while I was washing my face and I had all of my soap on my face and I was like, hold on. I had to like rewind because she said, I'm paraphrasing. She said, here's what he believes. Okay. He would never make fun of someone's struggle to get pregnant. And some people have good reasons to not have kids. What?
Yeah, some people.
How is that your judgment? How is that?
Some good reasons. Like other people have bad reasons for not wanting to have kids. Like we're not talking about those evil people. I know.
I will say I find her fascinating in the following way. Mm-hmm. She's clearly very smart.
Very.
I don't understand why she's with him. Like, it's hard for me to believe she actually believes what he believes. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah. Why does she want this? What the hell is going on? I'm literally so fascinated.
But you know what it says to me? I think, because there were all those articles or like the articles or letters that came out from friends of JD Vance's when he was much younger that basically said he was not a douchebag. No. That he was a sort of empathetic person who had, I don't know, room in his heart or life or brain for people who were different than him. Yeah. And I'm like, well, that they met in college. So maybe she's just accepted, which then also kind of makes her like super complicit, this deviant sort of ideology of like, there are people who deserve to be here and have rights and people who don't deserve to have any rights.
Yes. It's always, it's always hard for me to believe that the spouse is totally on board, that two people, walk hand in hand. They enter their 20s and 30s with one set of beliefs, and then they evolve to become so decrepit. Not only are they like decrepit ideas, but they also want to spread them to the whole country. Amazing. It's always hard for me to imagine that, given my own relationship with my own spouse and how we disagree about all kinds of things, and it's just hard to understand that they could have unity on that issue. I feel like there's a pit of the despair in her stomach that she has to go out and defend these things, but maybe there isn't. I really don't know. I don't really know what Cheryl Hines wakes up in the morning when her husband does stuff.
What on earth?
What in the hell?
Sam, that, by the way, let's take a little detour into RFK Jr. land. Sam, what was that crazy bullshit about the bear? I didn't even understand it.
Well, I mean, I don't want to jump ahead to my petty because this is it's my forever petty.
What? Put a pin in it. We'll get to it. One last thing on this story about Usha, though. Did you notice the little Melania blip in the conversation?
Yes.
Okay. I love that old Ainsley from Fox and Friends was like, has Melania been giving you advice? And she just hard pivoted and was like, oh, other people have called and whatever. And I was like, oh my God, literally Melania has not talked to her. How rotten is that?
Oh, she's not talking to anybody. She's like, I'm working out. I'm online shopping. I don't want anything to do with any of this. Of course, there's no world in which she would call and give advice. It's so believable to me that she has no advice to give anyone and would never deign to do that
or no
ever.
time to give it.
No time, no interest. The fact that Ainsley would even ask that question is like, am I the only one who is seeing how completely and utterly disengaged this human being is and how she wants no part of any of it? She has no advice for anybody. Her advice to America was be best. I don't want it. No one's looking to her for droplets of wisdom.
They're not, but also she's not returning any phone calls if they are.
Not at all. She's like, look at the face of this beluga whale. What do you think he's thinking?
Okay, Sam, so before we wrap up news, okay, the closing ceremonies for the Olympics are this Sunday, and I am already sad.
I'm a little bit sad too. I'm sad too.
Have you been loving the Olympics?
I have been loving the Olympics. And I can't say that I'm watching every event. I'm kind of watching them later in the day, watching a lot of highlights, some events in real time, but they've been great. The ones I've been watching, I've been so enjoying. It is hitting at exactly the right time and place.
Joy and excellence. That's what we needed. Joy and excellence.
Excellence. Things that I could never imagine doing, watching people do them at the godlike level. It's exactly what I needed.
You know, where I live in upstate New York, actually in Connecticut, you may get it too. Like the local news is kind of like it's very regional. I mean, it's local, but we get a lot of the Worcester, Massachusetts news, which is where Stephen, Pommel Horse Stephen is from. And so I have been hearing all of the stories about how all the local kids are trying to join gymnastics. Loads of boys are trying to join gymnastics because of Pommel Horse Stephen.
I love that so much. Listen, we're at a family resort in Maine, and my own family and the families of our friends literally right now are doing like Olympic relay races. They've just gone out aside. They're inventing ways to win gold medals right now. And it's incredible. I love that it's so infectious. We're like taking a laptop by the pool deck to watch the 1,500 meters. Like it's really great.
The swimming or the guy the running.
Yes.
That was unbelievable.
It was unbelievable.
He was like in 5th or 6th place and just like charged. Did you read that like all the ER visits are like peaking because people are trying Olympic shit at home?
Oh, well, that's going to happen here. Somebody's going to be bleeding.
There is
by the end of the
question.
Day.
The one thing that I thought was very special when Simone Biles and Jordan Childs were on the women's gymnastics team, they won silver and bronze respectively. And the podium was all black for the first time in history. That's it. It's like we got Kamala, we got Simone. Also, I need to just say they all have to stop calling it the Redemption Tour.
Yes, they do. They definitely need to stop doing that.
Also, let's just JD Vance, because he needs to stick his nose in everything. Just a reminder to anyone who is on the fence. JD Vance called Simone Biles weak for leaving the Tokyo Olympics.
That's right.
Okay?
Yeah. That's some demonstrating some real character.
It's real character. Anyone listening, I can't imagine if you listen that you are on the fence about JD Vance, but if you are, that should really just seal the deal for you.